Everything is broken, and nothing's going right.
Hello and welcome to Basement Fodder, the only show whose hosts have a schizophrenic recording schedule. I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
And we're here. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah.
We try. I'm not even going to go through explaining this again. You guys already know. We have weird schedules.
Uh-huh.
And then we have cats digging in litter boxes, making too much noise over there. So we're here. We're here now. It's been a month again, as it always seems to be lately. So, a lot of big news in the comic movie world since we've been gone. Let's put it that way. We'll talk about that first, just kind of get it out of the way. The biggest news came today. One of the biggest pieces of news came today with the release of the first images of Cable from the Deadpool 2. Man. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, you pretty much couldn't get a more spot on Cable. Like, we all thought that Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool was spot on. I'd say to go even further, like Josh Brolin is more spot on.
Oh,
like
wow.
The way they did the makeup and stuff like that. Now he's not like your Rob Liefeld, fucking like jacked up to the gills, fucking like pockets everywhere Cable and stuff. He's that.
He's the more modern Cable.
He's the more modern Cable, but he's also more like the. What iteration am I trying to think of here? Think like right after the extreme era of like artwork for like Marvel and stuff like that, when they started to finally like, you know, give them a little bit more realistic body expectations as far as like he's big but he's not, you know, like that. I think he fits like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The fucking face prosthetics, like he has that jaw, like
he's got that
Cable,
lantern jaw. Yeah.
But it is so crazy too because like when you see him as Thanos, he looks like Thanos too.
Yeah.
Like these people did a really good job of, you know, showing you him as two different characters, and he's spot on. It's a good mix of like he's a great character actor, and they did a fantastic fucking job.
Yeah, I agree. When I first, I didn't actually see it until a couple hours ago when I was taking one of my breaks, and I opened my Facebook, and I kind of thought it was like one of those fan Photoshop things at first when I saw the pictures, but then I found out it was legit because it was on Rob Liefeld's Instagram and shit, and I was like, fuck me, they really did a fine job. I mean, like, they did a great job in the first one with Colossus. It looked absolutely fucking perfect. Yeah. So I guess it doesn't surprise me too much. What the fuck is he doing?
He's just going to town.
Just jibber jabbing over fucking. God, I don't like animals. You live like 35 years of your life without animals in it. It is really hard to get used to.
It is. Yeah. Yep, that's right. Scared the shit.
Cut it the fuck out. Whatever the fuck. You just take the shit and leave.
I think he has. He's just like sitting there like, I feel like I need to scrape. It's like those motherfuckers that like when their shoes are wet and they've got a little bit of mud on them, they go to the like welcome mat and they just stand there for 20, 30 minutes just like, motherfucker, I'm pretty sure in the first 5 minutes most of the dirt that was coming off came off. Like, fuck off.
You're taking rubber off the bottom of the shoe at this point.
Yeah, now you're just being a dick. Move out of my way. But in returns to that, they also a week or two prior had showed the Domino.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that one, to be honest. Like, here's the thing. If you show me that Cable picture and you didn't say it was Cable, you instantly recognize that character. Mm-hmm. If you show me that picture of Domino, I would be like, so this is a pretty lady.
Does she have that, like skin disorder?
Yeah, does she have, like, Michael Jackson, vitiligo, whatever the fuck it's called? I don't know. Like, there's nothing about it that says Domino to me. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's not just because she's black. Like, that has nothing to do with it. It's just, honestly, that it doesn't really look like any iteration of the character I've ever seen. And Domino's not really a character that has, like, a super distinctive outfit. You know?
No, she's basically, like, bodysuit.
Yeah. Like,
and
cat suit with titties
yeah.
hanging out and, like, white face, black thing over her eye. Mm-hmm. And even the thing they did with her eye, it looks less like, I don't know, it looks less like Domino and more like a weird birthmark.
Well, like I think, again, I hate using this term, but I think they wanted it to be, organic in the sense of, like, with Domino, it was a skin thing in the comics.
Yeah.
She was a mutant, but, like, her body was all white and she had the black mark. I think they wanted this one to be one of those, like, they're translating it to a real skin disorder that happens, but it just happened to be...
I don't think the
opposite.
I think it's too subtle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
like that. The thing was that is Domino. Domino got the name because of the look.
Right.
Like, it kind of defines who she is. So I know there's been a lot of points of contention about that. Like some people are like, I mean, of course you have the people that are very like, playing the race card. Then you have the other people that are very much like, I don't have a problem that she's, what color she is. It's just one of those, it's so subtle that it's like, if you hadn't said, like, hey, that's Domino, some comic book fans would have been like, hey, she kind of looks similar to, like, like she's got the Domino thing going on. Like, that's what they probably would have said. Like, she has the Domino thing with the eye. But even then, like, they wouldn't have been like, oh, she's Domino.
Yeah, I don't even know if I would look at it and even, kind of get the inkling that that's what it was. Like, it would probably take me, like, it would probably be one of those things that you do when somebody shows you something, like, hey, look at this thing, and you're like, okay, and then they're like, doesn't it look like blank? And you're like, oh, I guess maybe.
Like, oh, I could see it. Like, if she was holding guns or something like that, and you'd be like, in the suit, you could be like, doesn't this kind of look like a Domino type thing?
Yeah, if someone said that, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Not really.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see what they're seeing on it. Like, whatever, like, that's their choice. I still haven't even fucking watched the first Deadpool movie because I fucking hate Deadpool.
Yeah.
But no offense to Ryan Reynolds, I love the son of a bitch, but, like, convention life has ruined me on the character of Deadpool for life. Like, I can't give any fucks.
Yeah. It's hard to want to like a character when every fucking just douchebag is all about, like, oh, Deadpool, and I'm like, Deadpool and Joker and, like, any of those other, like, psycho wacko characters do not give you a free pass to be a fucking douchebag at a con, and that's all they seem to do. Is like, oh, but I'm being the character, and I'm like, yeah, no, you're just being a fuck.
Yeah, anytime I've ever felt like I wanted to hit someone at a con, they've been in a Deadpool outfit every fucking time.
Because even the Joker people, I don't really care about.
No, they're not nearly as obnoxious now. Like, I've met a few Jokers that were obnoxious because they'll have the big ass hammer and want to tap you with it and shit, and I'm like, I'll shove that hammer up your ass,
but that's just more like, I don't like being touched by these people I don't know.
Take your giant mallet and shove it up your ass and make a popsicle out of you.
Deadpool people think they could literally get away with doing whatever the fuck
I'll never forget when we were at fucking Gem City a couple years ago, and those fucking roaming pack of douchebag Deadpools and shit tried to make that picture, and they like swiped chairs and were like trying to lean on this guy's booth and damn near fucking collapsed the entire t-shirt booth.
The one guy jumped up on it and like messed the thing, and I mean, it almost came to blows. And the Deadpool guy was like, basically all but said, I'm dressed as Deadpool, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And this dude was like, not if I knock your teeth down your fucking throat.
Bitch, you're not Deadpool, I'll kill you.
Yeah, like, if I stab you, you won't be like, that's funny, and then you'll just bleed to death.
I'm going to be breaking the fourth wall, I'm going to be breaking your fourth tooth.
Yeah. But, so, Brolin looks awesome. Domino Girl.
Nah.
It exists. It exists. It's a contention thing. It's differences. Another thing that's been basically lighting up things as far as like nerdery fan base being split down the middle was the announcement of the first ever female Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's been a big stinker.
Yeah, that's been a big stinker thing because like one, BBC said they were never gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then they did it.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people were happy about it, and then a lot of people were angry about it.
Yeah.
A lot of male Doctor Who fans were really upset about it, which I kind of don't understand necessarily.
I don't know. Like, I think that it's like with any iconic character, changing something that much causes ire sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, someone posted on Facebook last night. Who was it? Bobby from the Nerdfic Strangers podcast. Mm-hmm. He made a post about, like, he'd like to see Idris Elba play Batman.
That'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting. In an Elseworld sort of way.
Actually, you know, I could see him being that the Black Superman.
Yeah.
Like, he would be an awesome Superman.
But the thing is, like, it's just, like, it's the same thing that happened when they did the Hydra Cap, and it's the same thing that happened when they do, like, any of this sort of big things like that. It's like, if you try to change an iconic character so much, it causes, like, backlash.
And I get that, but the thing is, it's not like, okay, so, like, we'll do opposite ends of the spectrum on that one. Like, so Hydra Cap is one of those, like, it's so far against what the character
stands for.
Yeah. Like, if anything, like, you know, you could have convinced me more that the Skrull Captain America could have been a Hydra, you know, like, that's fine. But, like, Steve Rogers, and then you're going to try and say some weird shit like, oh, from the beginning, or brainwash, or any of that type of shit. And I'm just like, it's still one of those things where it's like, I still don't get with it, because, you know, the only way I could believe it is, like, you know, in the, like, stuff where Wanda's rewritten like, the reality and shit like that. But to just be like, nope, this is the thing, it's like, there's nothing to get you there. Yeah. But, like, Doctor Who, every time he dies, he regenerates into, like, whatever. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's in theory, but it's never been anything but a white guy.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying?
But even in the show, he said, like, it could be regenerated, and they even proved this point with the Master being regenerated into a woman.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's kind of been one of those things where it's like, it was bound to happen, but honestly, statistical-wise, it should have already happened.
Yeah.
You know? So...
But yeah, it's like, that's the thing. It's like, I get what you're saying, because like, with that character, it's like, oh yeah, well, like, it should make sense because of this. But the thing is, like, even though they say that he could be anything every time, he's never been anything but a white guy.
Yeah.
So the illusion that it could happen is like, oh, that's a fun thing. But when it comes to reality on that shit, like, that's when the weirdos and, you know, mouth breathers and shit get angry.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't really give a shit. Like, my Doctor Who phase is over. Like, I mean, it wasn't even a phase. It's like, I liked 2 actors, and I didn't like the other one, so I don't care anymore. The character itself, I don't really care that much about. Yeah. Like, it's an interesting character, and it's one that leads to, like, pure freedom when it comes to storytelling, because it's such an all-over-the-place character.
Yeah.
But, like, so for me, it was based more on the performer.
Yeah, than
anything else. Yeah, and like, once it stopped being a performer that I cared for, I didn't really care about watching it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's true too, because like, there are ones like, I like John Pertwee, I like Tom Baker, didn't really care for any of the rest of them. Then it became like Eccleston, I love Eccleston.
Yeah.
Tennant was really good, I liked him. Matt Smith made me want to fucking, like, put a nail gun to my dick.
Yeah, me too.
And then Capaldi.
I never gave him a chance, honestly, because like, Matt Smith turned me off so much I just didn't care anymore.
Well, the problem for me was, like, I watched some of it, and he is a very, like, he's a much very different Doctor than Matt Smith. He's actually, he's kind of a Doctor I think you would have liked, because he's kind of a prick.
Yeah.
Like, he's a much more, like, it seemed like an angrier Doctor, and it seemed much more like Snip, like, you know, like, like, all the companions that are just running around big dippy dope shits and stuff like that. He's like, hey, stop that shit. Like, what the fuck? You're like, you know, don't be a dip. So, I mean, I think you would have liked him in that way. But the problem for me is the same that I had once David Tennant left, and that's because it was Moffat. And I don't like what he did to Doctor Who. I think fundamentally he changed Doctor Who from being a very like fun, campy British thing that I enjoyed into a more like, I don't know. It stopped having the camp feeling and started having that more like just shy of like movie, you know, like they tried to make it a, you know, there was still that comedy there, but there was also more serious, more like production value type of stuff. And it was like, honestly, I liked the campy sci-fi thing. You know, there are very few things that could still pull off. And I think that was more because of Davies and like how he decided he wanted to do stuff. And also because of how Eccleston and Tennant reacted and portrayed the character. Matt Smith is, I think, like we said before, he tried to like take from them, but with Moffat also, there was just, it became that new comedy that like we're not really fans of, that awkward comedy, and I'm not an awkward comedy type of person.
Plus, to be honest, and be a prick or anything, but he's just not that great of an actor.
He's not. Honestly,
especially, and it sucks when you're the guy who follows the great guy.
Yeah.
Because Eccleston was great, he's awesome, whatever, but then Tennant basically just redefined it and made it relevant.
It's because, like, fundamentally, Tennant is a fucking amazing actor.
Yeah,
you could put him in all kinds of things. Like, he is just as amazing as campy sci-fi as he is in a dramatic role.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
he's a brilliant actor.
Yeah. And that's the problem, is like you put a brilliant actor in there and then you put a, you know,
a mediocre actor,
you know.
It would be like, you know, having Hugh Laurie do House for like 8 seasons and then replacing him with like David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Like, it just, no one would care. Like, that's probably too an extreme, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Can't Hasselhoff, man.
Replacing him with like Ian Ziering or something. Like,
yeah.
No, it doesn't. No, it just does. I don't know, and it's just like they didn't do enough to redefine it. They put him in a fucking fez and a bow tie and shit, and just made him like a half-assed Americanized hipster.
Well, that's the problem too. Is like, this is like I said, they fundamentally changed it. It was like, because when it came back, it was less about the Doctor, and it started being more from like the companion's perspective of the Doctor.
Yeah. And
it was like, as much as I love the companions and stuff like that's what they are. They're just a companion. They should never be the sole focus. Focal point.
And Amy was very much the focus of like most of Matt Smith's run.
Yeah.
And I love Karen Gilliam, but I don't. That's not the show I was tuning in to watch.
Yeah. And then, you know, especially with like Arthur Daverill like being you know, Rory, it became them with like the Doctor in the background.
Yeah, and honestly,
it became a Three's Company sitcom.
Really fucking convoluted.
Yeah, it did.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So good for her, you know. I hope that she's good, because if she isn't, it'll never happen again.
Yeah. Well, I'm just upset about the fact that, like, one, the magazine that decided it wanted, like, I understand they're douchebags, they're gonna do this shit anyways, but it was like she got announced and then they dropped fucking nude pictures of her.
But they were from a movie, weren't they?
They were from a thing, but it was like everybody was like, she was like, oh shit, she's the Doctor, let's fucking just
plaster
all the thing and stuff. And then there's other motherfuckers that are like bitching about, like, you know, like, oh, the Doctor's a man and stuff like that, and I'm like,
he's not really in anything.
I'm like, one, he's an alien, and two, does it really fucking matter? Because it's like, or you're like, oh, I want to be the Doctor and stuff. That's like saying, like, if a woman played Jack Sparrow, would it really change the dichotomy, like, you know, the thing of the role?
I don't
Not
think anybody
really.
else can play that part.
You find me somebody that can do foppish. I know so many fucking, like, you know, Elvis type impersonators that impersonate fucking Jack Sparrow, and I'm like, oh, look, you at least can do 80% foppish, right? You got the character. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. It was like, I've seen women do foppish, and I'm like,
you can mince around and slur your words.
Helena Bonham Carter can play that role. That's the thing. Like, because of Tim Burton, I truly believe whatever Johnny Depp can do, Helena Bonham Carter can play that role too. Like, it's sad, but, you know,
sad but true.
Sad but true, and that's Tim Burton's fault. But, you know,
Fucking Tim Burton.
Yeah. So, But
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that happen.
Yeah.
I think it could be interesting.
It could be. I mean, I'm willing to. I don't know. I'm so far behind in it. It's like, how do you pick something back up again?
I'm probably not going to watch it again, but I'm excited for my female Doctor Who fans, which is interesting because like most of my Doctor Who fan friends are females.
Yeah.
And they're fucking ecstatic about this because finally they get their doctor, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think if I were doing it, it wouldn't necessarily. Like when they did in Tennant's run, when Donna, got the ability and stuff like that. If I were gonna make it a woman, it would have been her.
yeah, I could see her doing it.
Because I love Catherine Tate,
yeah,
and it worked.
It did work.
It really did work.
Or like another person who I thought was really good was like the actress who played Martha, and because like if you look at how she was. Like how the character of Martha and stuff, she wasn't like Billie Piper's character. She wasn't Rose as far as the like stumble bumble fuck into like, them getting out of it. She was very much like I'm, can be just on par with things as he can, because like I'm smart and I know a shit ton of stuff too. And it was like, there's your glimpse of like what a female doctor could be. You look at like, take the personality of Catherine Tate and her acting capabilities, and then you take like the smarts and the kind of the personality of like the Martha character, and you put them together, and it's like there's your female Doctor Who. Like,
yeah, I get that, like that perspective, but I honestly disliked Martha heavily as a companion. I found her to be boring as
most people did.
Like watching fucking paint dry. Like she was, especially again because you followed one of the best.
Yeah. Everybody loved Billie.
Everybody loves Billie Piper because she's so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Martha was like literally watching like grass grow.
And everybody fucking had a giant heart on for her too. Like
it was weird. The perspective is weird because like with Rose he was in love with her. Mm-hmm. But with Martha it was like Martha was in love with him.
Yeah.
And he wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm so far removed from giving a fuck about Doctor Who anymore. Yeah. But, I mean, like I said, good for them, and I'm glad that they're willing to shake it up and shit like that. But you had to know that this was going to happen, though. You had to know that there was going to be nerd backlash, because there's nerd backlash on every fucking thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, I love I love the geek community, and I'm a proud member of it, but we are so bitchy.
Yeah.
We're like, gay guys at Sunday brunch bitchy. Like, we're that fucking level of bitchy when it comes to the things we love.
Right now, the newest thing they're bitching about besides that is the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
The Dark Tower came out, and
I love Stephen King. I've never read any Dark Tower stuff because there's just so much of it that I haven't got into it.
The books, the comics, all kinds of stuff.
But again, I say Stephen King adaptations are so fucking hit or miss. Like, he approved of it, and that's saying something because he doesn't generally approve of ones that are shitty.
Yeah.
He said, like, it's a dense amount of shit, and it was condensed in a pretty positive fashion.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I've heard a lot of like different tales about this too. So I've heard one that the movie is actually supposed to be a continuation of where the books were. Like, this is because there are some people that are like it's convoluted and hard to follow, and they glance over a bunch of stuff. And if this is supposed to be like from where the books stopped and this goes on, that would make sense. They're basically like, oh, okay, if you read the books, this is what has happened up until this point, and then we go. That makes sense. If it's not, if this is supposed to be the books, like in the thing, again, there's a lot of fucking shit for that, and it's hard to be like, okay, let's cram that all into an hour and a half. I mean, fuck, even with the Lord of the Rings trilogies, there's less books in those, and they had to do 3 fucking movies.
Yeah.
With extended editions.
Exactly.
And people still said there was shit missing from them.
That's the thing with Stephen King is, like, he doesn't write little books a lot, very often, and especially when they adapt the big ones. That's why a lot of the bigger ones end up getting adapted into TV movies and things like that, because it's just so much material, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's I had talked about this with a friend at work. I have said that, like, if there is more than one book in a series, I honestly feel like a more like Game of Thrones or like American Gods style like TV series is a better way to go about it, because you can tell an entire book worth of stuff in a season than you can in an hour and a half.
And the other thing is, like, King fans are very loyal.
Yeah.
But they're also very much like, I want to see what's in the book. I don't want to see your weird fucking adaptation of it. Like, one of the most fucking profitable, famous, highly regarded, critically, King adaptations is The Shining, but it's not a good adaptation.
Yeah.
Because it changes entirely too much.
Yeah.
And
the only reason
he doesn't like it.
Yeah. And the only reason it's so critically acclaimed is because of the actors, the performances.
Yeah, and Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Who straight told Stephen King multiple times that he thought the book was a piece of shit.
Yeah. Which I'm like, then why are you fucking making this goddamn movie?
Stanley Kubrick.
But some of the most, like, faithfully adapted Stephen King stuff is probably the least, like, critically, like, yay stuff. Which, if I recall you saying, because you've seen every one of them, it was the made-for-TV movie one where it was, or it might have been like a B movie, where it was the husband and the wife one.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but Anthony LaPaglia and Joan Allen are in it.
Yeah. And you said that one is probably
extremely faithful
to the book, but you basically...
Desperation's really faithful, and it's excellent.
But
the TV movie version of The Shining, I've said it before, and it's like sacrilege to people or whatever, but I prefer it because it's more accurate. And I love Jack Nicholson, but I actually like Steven Weber's performance better.
Yeah.
No one else will agree with that ever, I'm sure. But it is a much more faithful adaptation. If you like the book, you would probably like it better because it's more like the book.
Yeah.
You know, but you know what? You're not going to make everybody happy with it.
No. And that's the thing. Like, I've seen a lot of, like, back and forth. I've seen articles about, like, it's shit and stuff, and, like, it seemed like a lot of pissy pants bullshit. And then I've also seen my friends that are back and forth on the spectrum of, like, I've seen people that are like, oh my god, it was amazing, go see it now. And then I've seen people that are like, I swear to god, if I even hear that you went to go see that movie, I'll kick you because it's so shitty.
We're not friends anymore.
Yeah, we're not friends anymore. You know, so it's like there's a spectrum of, like, good and bad as a part of people's reactions to it. And, like, out of our friends, there's only one person I truly would, like, you know, asking, like, hey, Michelle, you've seen this. I have never read the books. Would I enjoy the movie?
Yeah.
You know, that's the other thing, too. Having never read a single lick of any fucking thing about this, would I have enjoyed the movie? I'm still waiting on a reply to that, Miss Michelle. Yeah.
Co-host of the Digital Nerdage podcast.
Co-host of the Don't Fucking Reply to People's Messages
Digital Nerdage network that we are also... that we're also a part of.
Digital slack-ass co-host. But, you know, like, and that's the thing, because, like, or if you had seen it and I hadn't, and you'd read all the stuff, you know, I would trust your judgment because you read the gambit of, like, Stephen King stuff. But apparently, I don't know if it's doing all that well in the theaters.
I don't know. I haven't really looked at the numbers on it. But there's another, of course, King adaptation that's coming out.
Yeah.
The remake of it, or actually I wouldn't even call it a remake necessarily, because the original is a TV movie. You didn't really remake that.
Yeah.
Like the adaptation, the film adaptation of it. And I did get to actually see the second trailer, the big long trailer for it, and I tell you, it looks quite fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like
well, and they also just brought out The Mist too on TV.
Yeah, I haven't really seen anything about that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Which we enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
But that was because I love
that movie.
I love Aaron Eckhart. You know?
The ending is one of the most shredding endings.
Oh my god! Yeah, I don't like. For me, that's one of the rough things, because that show will never be able to capture that ending the way the movie did.
Let's see. Opening weekend, it's number one. It did 19.2 million opening weekend. So.
Really, it beat Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde is way down. Number 8. It looks like number 7.
Wow.
That's in its second week. It's done 34 million so far.
Yeah, that's crazy because people had fucking were all about that atomic blonde Charlize Theron, being.
I don't know. The trailer looked fun, but like,
yeah, it's again, it's look, it's Charlize Theron beating the shit out of a bunch of people. I don't care.
it really didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's not terrible then. Like,
it finally took Dunkirk out of the #1 spot, which not in the movie that I would ever
Nolan's
see in a billion years.
Masterpiece.
I hate Christopher Nolan with all the flaming passion of 1,000 hells.
Now, one movie that's not doing well, that's based around a comic, is Valerian.
Valerian is a weird movie to me.
Valerian's based off a French comic strip.
Not just French, but an obscure, like, 30-year-old French
Yeah.
thing. Like, Luc Besson just doesn't like money. Like, this is what I found about Luc Besson.
He sure likes spending it to
He
make
likes
these
spending
movies.
a shitload of money, but he doesn't apparently like making any. Or, like, making viable franchises. Like, I get, man, that, like, this has been your dream project and everybody's got their dream project. But you know what? Fucking Battlefield Earth was someone's dream project. Just because you have a dream to make something doesn't necessarily mean it needs to get made. And here's the thing. The advertising for this movie was terrible.
Okay. The advertising was terrible. I think another key problem, and I read this in an article, and I truly agree with this, is like your two main draw actors are a girl who's only ever been in one other movie, Enchantress, in the Suicide Squad, who at best was like a villain, but wasn't even kind of in there. Like, she was, but she wasn't. Like, when you say Suicide Squad, who's the immediate characters you start thinking of?
Not
Garrett, not her. And then your other main character is a guy who's known for A, cracking into the thing with Chronicle, and then B, being the shitty Green Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then the only other name actors are like Clive Owen, which I love Clive Owen,
Who
but he's
probably
not,
only has like not a huge part.
Yeah, he's not an A-level actor or anything like that. And there's somebody else who is of note that's in
Rihanna's
there too.
in it.
Rihanna, yeah, but she's not even in a big part from what I understand.
No, she plays more of the diva part from like Fifth Element.
It
and
looks
stuff.
it looks like Luc Besson's trying to make the same movie over again because like it looks like Fifth Element with some teenagers in like Mass Effect suits.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what exactly he was thinking. Like I know that this is something that's very close to his heart, and I don't want to like mock it or anything like that because it's probably pretty good.
It looked awesome. It looked really cool. It looked like there would be a lot of creature stuff, a lot of like science fiction things. Problem is, it's just nobody knows the material, and nobody cares about the fucking actors because honestly, I have not met a person that thinks that chick is fucking attractive at all.
No, God, no.
Like, they're kind of like, she's got caterpillar eyebrows and she's kind of homely looking and stuff. And she's supposed to be the, like, character that the other characters are like, ooh, you're so attractive, I love you. And it's like,
Yeah, I mean, Clive Owen, Rihanna, Ethan Hawke, Herbie Hancock? What the fuck? And Rutger Hauer are the only other people that I even recognize.
Yeah. And those aren't, like, names that are really, like, drawing much these days.
I don't think anyone expected this movie to make money, honestly.
I don't know. Apparently he thought it would. I don't know.
The main kid, like, I don't know. The casting on this is weird to me because, yeah, the weird eyebrow chick, no fucks on that one. Mm-hmm. And that guy, I don't know, like, he always looks like he's suffering from some horrible systemic disease to me.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like, it literally, and then again, I swear that their suits look just like fucking N7 armor.
Oh, they do. They do.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, it just, it might make money in Europe, but it ain't gonna make any money.
I was gonna say, internationally, it might do well.
Yeah.
But domestically, I don't think it's going to. And even internationally, I don't know if it's going to do that well. I think it might do well in France, in the surrounding areas that know the material pretty well.
It came out on the 21st of July. It's not even in the top 10 anymore.
Yeah.
It did $17 million for its opening weekend.
Yeah.
So it's done...
And it was $180 million to make?
No, $180 million. And as of the 4th of August, it's done 36.
Yeah.
And it's not likely to break 100.
No.
At least domestically.
No.
So it's, I mean, it is what it is. Like, he got to make a passion project. I don't know.
And it looks good.
It's pretty. I don't know if, like, they were thinking, well, maybe it'll catch that Fifth Element crowd or something. Like,
but that Fifth Element crowd has never been a big crowd.
From 1999.
It was like
Fifth Element wasn't exactly a box office fucking blockbuster either. It was kind of a sleeper.
And you had Bruce Willis as your main character.
Yeah, it was a sleeper. It was more popular once it went to fucking DVD and VHS and shit than it was. It was a cult movie. Yeah, it wasn't like this big fucking gangbuster blockbuster. So yeah, I didn't expect it to make a nickel, and it didn't. Like, I mean, it is what it is.
It's been interesting to see what movies have flopped and which ones haven't.
If not for Wonder Woman and Spider-Man, this was a really shitty summer for money-making movies. So it is what it is. Another big kind of piece of news I saw on the talking about movie front is, and especially sort of ties into comics because of the character with Chris Pratt and Anna Faris split.
Getting divorced after 8 years of not being able to apparently make it work. Which, you know what, that's crazy because, man, they had been doing, like, once he got popular, they started doing a bunch of, like, interviews and stuff like that, and they were really playing it up like they were super happy with each other.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wonder if, like, him shedding the pounds and looking the way he does
had any more of a sex symbol.
Yeah, had any more effect on that?
I don't know. It's hard to say. It really is hard to say.
I mean, I don't know what kind of things. I mean, it's sad to see it kind of go down.
It is.
But because they have kids, so
yeah.
But
it's not always a bad thing.
It's not.
I'm living proof of that.
Yeah. I mean, ladies, Chris Pratt could be yours.
I want to talk a little bit. This is totally off shit, but it just drew by. I want to talk about this like Sahara Ha thing or whatever. I don't even know how you're supposed to say it.
The anonymous.
Yeah, this is a thing that has been just blowing the fuck up on social media lately, and it is a very weird thing.
And I've seen the gambit of like people going, "This is awesome," and finding out cool things, and then I've seen some very nasty things being said. Like I have friends that have posted like things that people have said to them, and I'm like, "Dear God, that is some fucked up shit." I had a friend get told that his kids should have a better parent, like his kids would do.
I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah, like basically, and like I know this person, and he does everything he can for his kids.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it true?
No, it's not. Like he does everything he can for. Yeah, and it's like somebody said that shit, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Like that is some fucked up shit."
I set up two. I set up one for me as a podcaster, and one for me personally. Mm-hmm. And I only got a couple responses to the one for me as a podcaster, and all of them were sex related.
Yep.
So that's cool. Apparently, anonymous female fans of the show want to bang me. I don't know why.
You say female, but I think there might be a few males in there.
Well, I don't know. I don't know who the fuck they would be, but now I'm just like, it's a double-edged sword because you're like, oh, that's cool that someone may think that, but man, like, it's anonymous. I'd love to know who these fucking, mysterious women are that want to bang me. Like, what the fuck were you when I was bangable? Yeah. Like, But no, with my other one, though, that I set up for me personally, I got a lot of really and I got a couple want to bang you ones in there, too, but... Yep. But no, like, I got a lot of...
You can't even be like, it's you. I was like, no, what, motherfucker? You tried to say that one that was like, I want to bang you, was me, and I was like, motherfucker, everybody knows that the Todd Dave one is you. I have my own page, motherfucker.
I was pleasantly surprised with, like, I expected to get negative shit. Yeah. Like, just not as the show, but, like, me personally, I kind of expected to get some negative shit. Yeah. But I didn't, and it really kind of surprised me. Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and say, because I know some people are probably wondering. Yeah, I'm not doing it for personal or podcasting, because my thought on this is if you can't say it to me with who you are, then I don't give a fuck. Like, I just don't care. Like, if you got a crush, you want to bang me, you want to fucking knock my fucking teeth down my throat, say it to my face, or just keep it to yourself. I don't care. Like,
my personal favorite one that I got in my own personal one was everything is a dildo if you are brave. I don't know what it means, but I love it. Oh God, I do know what it means, and I love it more now.
I think it's Sandlet. She sells floppy dicks now, so
I think it's saying you can shove anything up your orifices if you want to. Like,
no, you can't. Nope, there's videos proving you can't.
but it's an interesting thing. It's a social experiment in kind of a respect, because it's like, what do you say when there's no boundary anymore? What do you say when your name doesn't have to be behind it? Like, are you still going to be a nice person, or are you going to try to encourage someone, or are you going to let that shit fly and say what you think? And I honestly, I'll be honest, I've done one for damn near all of our friends who have put it up. Oh, and some other people that I wouldn't necessarily consider friends. And I have been honest on all of them, but I've only been mean on probably 2.
Yeah. And
whether it's like, it's not mean for the sake of mean, it's mean because that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
And so, like, I hope it didn't, like, ruin anybody's day or whatever. And I don't even know at this point who it was. Like, there were definitely 2 that I know of for sure that I let it fly on.
Yeah.
But I couldn't say who it was. Like, not that I'm like, oh, I couldn't say because it's private. Like, I couldn't say because I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
Like, it was just the spur of the moment thing at the time. And then several of them definitely were like, boy, I have a crush on you. Like,
I love you.
Man, you got some sweet creamy boobs. So it's interesting. Have you, like, I know you're not gonna do one for yourself, but have you done any of them? Like, replied to any of them, or
no.
Nah, I didn't figure you did.
I don't care.
I think it's an interesting thing. It's a good way to, like,
if I'm gonna tell you something, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna, like.
But I don't know.
Honestly,
I know you well enough to know that even certain things, like, you feel about somebody, you're not necessarily gonna tell them.
Well, I mean, for the most part, unless there's a reason I need to tell you, I'm not going to. Like,
Yeah.
Sure, I could say some mean shit to you, and great, cool, now I've said some mean shit to you. You feel like shit. What is the...
But there's also sometimes, I think, stuff that people need to be told, but you don't necessarily have the want to hurt them. You know what I mean?
I guess it's if I understand if the person's going to take it the way they should, or just take
Nobody
it
ever
the way,
takes that shit the way they should.
And that's why I'm just like, meh.
Like, just for, like, a random example or something, like, and this happens because you and I both have female friends, like, hey, this is my, significant other, what do you think about them? You don't want to know the answer to that question most of the time.
No, and there's a reason why.
Yeah.
And you know why I won't say that,
Yeah.
because we've lost friends because of
We
that.
have lost friends because when you're honest about how you feel about someone, sometimes it means that person doesn't want to be your friend anymore.
Because honestly, and this is, and everybody listening should know this. Is I'm going to open your eyes up on this thing. When a friend asks you what you think of their significant other, they don't really want your fucking opinion on what you think of them.
They want you to support their opinion.
They want you to say, "I like him" or "I like her." Go you type thing. Because if they're really that fucking dumb fucking in love with that person, and you say that person sucks donkey dick.
Yeah, they're not looking for an honest opinion. They're looking for an affirmation of their choice.
Yeah.
Which I am not the guy to give it to you.
Yeah.
Unless I honestly feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, I have plenty of friends where, like, if you were like, hey, what do you think about my boyfriend / girlfriend, whatever, I'd be like, yeah, they're fucking awesome people.
Yeah.
Like, they're good peoples. Not many, but, it occasionally happens. But, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of friends that I have currently that, like, if you were to say, hey, what do you think of my significant other? And I'm like, well, fuck it, I don't care about, whatever. I'm going to tell you they're a fucking flaming dick wiggler.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is.
So, I mean, just for me, I don't know.
I'm always interested to know what people think of me. And if they do, if they have the balls to say it in an open forum with their name attached to it, fucking A, right? But if they don't, I'm still interested. I'm still interested to see what people think of me, or not even necessarily what they think of me, but like what they think. What they would tell me if there wasn't like a social moray that was stopping them. You know what I mean? Because there is that like social nicety and stuff that you don't necessarily full disclose everything because you just ended up being labeled as an asshole.
Yeah.
I should know. I do it. But, like, I don't know. I think it's an interesting concept, but I think it also, like, opens up a lot of space for hate. Because I know one of the people that I work with is transgendered, and, yeah, they have not received a lot of positivity. Let's put it that way. So, you know, I mean, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see how, like, popular it's become and how many people are doing it. And how many people are, like, brave enough to post what people have said about them. Because that's interesting, too. Like, that always fascinates me.
Yeah.
Anyone who's asked me, I've told them which one was mine.
Yeah.
Because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'd put my name on there. I'm going to tell you what, dude, I'm going to call out of this shit Clint. Because Clint left one for me where he name-dropped his podcast. Well, motherfucker, it's supposed to be anonymous. But I know it was you. Yeah. Thank you. But I know it was you. You name-dropped the show.
Yeah.
He always hustling. Always hustling.
Like, motherfucker, I was on the show. I know what it's called. Shit.
Anyway. No, I just think it was an interesting thing.
It is interesting, but I think also, like, there's a level, like, I think it feeds into people's, like, either you're a sadist or you're a masochist.
Yeah.
Like, people can say they hope for good things, but I think they know what they're about to get. Like, and they know what they're about to do. People see this as opening to say some of the most fucked up shit they've always wanted to say to people, and other people are going to get some of the most fucked up shit.
Yeah, the first one I got said I want to fuck your brains out. Cool.
That's sadist masochist in a different way. Okay. That's a little bit more towards the BDSM.
The first one I got on my other one said I'd hit it. All right, well, thank you.
That one was from Scott.
It probably was. Well, we're getting close to the hour, but I want to fucking cough into the microphone because I'm dying over here. I want to talk about a few weeks ago we got to do for the 4th year in a row the Ohio Toy Comic Show out in Dayton with all of our wonderful friends. And this was the best friend one yet.
Oh God, yeah,
sure.
This was
because
actually business wise too. This one was awesome
yeah, this
too.
was just financially it's successful as fuck.
Yeah.
But we had in one row, starting the row was our good friend Adam Fields, who does the Prowl comic.
Yep.
Great guy, and he had his kid with him, and that was really awesome. And there was us.
Yep.
We had a table set up for... We didn't take the game this time, because, I don't know, that show doesn't lend as well to the game. It's more of an adult crowd.
Yeah.
So we took
the
the T-shirts and DVDs that we got from Pack Rat, donating all those wonderful prizes to us. And then we had Metzger next to us, Matthew Metzger, host of Not Another Origin Story. And amazing artist in his own right as well.
My favorite podcast, Not Another.
Oh shit! My literal favorite podcast of all of our friends' podcasts. Sorry, everybody else, but I don't listen.
No,
to
Mike Watson.
I've become you because I don't listen to anybody's show anymore. Because I don't have fucking time to listen to podcasts.
Mike Watson holds the record for my favorite podcast because I actually listen to Mike Watson's podcast. Well, his.
The one that he hasn't had for several years?
Yeah. No, the new one thing that he's got.
That's not a podcast. That's just him ranting on videos for 5 minutes.
I know. That's about as close as I'll get to watching and listening to.
But speaking of him, he was on the other side of Pogues.
Yeah.
So we basically just owned an entire murderer's row.
Yeah, and then we constantly had Aaron walking and shit. It was fucking cool.
It was a great show. It was absolutely... We had an absolute blast. We made a lot of money. That was really great.
Yeah. I bought a lot of shit.
Yeah, Dave decided to spend $1,000 and shit.
No, I didn't spend that much, but I did drop $150 within the first 20 minutes I was there. I had all the figures I wanted.
I spent less than $50 the entire day.
They had all the figures I wanted. I had to. It was great.
All of the things.
All of the things.
It was a great show. Aaron and Kenny and Sarah, they put on a fantastic show. Everybody did great. The attendance was fucking awesome.
I think this was their best show.
I think it was the biggest one, yeah. And then there was a lot of people through the door. Everything
and then,
went really
that was not
smoothly.
even including kids.
Yeah.
Because the fucking attendance was ridiculous. But, No, it was awesome. It was hot as balls.
It was hotter than fucking balls in there.
Yeah.
And I was tired as fuck by the end of the day because I had to work the night before and then drive home afterwards, which by like a wing and a prayer and a miracle, I fucking made it back.
Yeah.
But we had a good time, and then afterwards we went and had dinner at Hardee's together and got to hang out with Mike and his family and Pogues together. Yeah. And I tell you what, like, Pogues is one of those people on my list that, like, I really wish I could hang out with a lot more often.
Yeah.
We only get to see him about 2 or 3 times a year, but it's always
because his lazy ass don't come out to shows no more. Self-deprecating bastard.
I tell you what, I'd hang out with Pogues all the time.
Yeah.
He's a fucking blast, and of course, we love Watson. We'd hang out with Watson every fucking day too.
And if we could get Pogues and Watson in the same room again, it's always a good time.
And I love hanging out with Adam Fields too. He's a stand-up guy and very funny. And
He
extremely
played
talented.
right into the. Man, I was
did really
wondering.
well
I was
with us.
wondering because his kid was there.
Yeah.
But man, he didn't miss a beat. Man, he kept up with all the rest of us and stuff. And like,
Yeah, he's a great guy. I do love all those guys to death. And,
I think we did. We tell Aaron that we need this same lineup.
Yeah, that
like,
needs
next
to be
year.
like-
We were like, we need this
yeah.
lineup next year. Like this.
we
this
could
has to
get
be
fucking Victor and Dirk to that show. It'd be like the greatest show ever.
Oh well, speaking of that, the day before we were at Pack Rats.
We got to swing out to Pack Rat for the Not at Comic Con, which I didn't get to spend much time because I had to work that day and that night.
But we got to see Watson and Dirk there, which was always a fun time.
We got to hang out with Jamie and Teresa, and Jamie was nice enough to give us free shirts, which was awesome. Dave actually happens to be wearing his now.
Yeah, my Rough Rider one.
Actually,
my coworker asked me about that. He's like, "Who the fuck is on your shirt?" And I was like, "What do you mean?
Appropriately cover your shame." And I'll post this along with the let's straighten it out a little bit the other
God
day.
damn it.
There you go. I'll just put a smiley face over your face or something. There we go. I have one too, but it's white and I'm not wearing it right now. But I did wear it the next day to the show.
Yep.
But they always put an amazing show on, and they got rained out too, really.
Didn't you get this book too?
I got some of the Aftershock books. I'm not sure if... I did. I did get 2 issues of it, yeah.
You got the... Yeah, because I want to read that.
All the people from Aftershock were really, really cool that were there, and we got our books autographed and everything. That was really sweet. Mm-hmm. It was a great show, as it always is.
Yep.
And I don't know, anything Jamie and Teresa ever do, Pack Ren ever does, I'm there. Ren was there, too. We get to see Ren.
Oh, yeah, that's another motherfucker that we need to, like, get involved.
I think Ren secretly kind of hates us.
No, let's clarify, motherfucker. Secretly, I think he hates you.
Why me?
Huh?
Why me?
Because I'm not the one that constantly has been telling him, "Oh yeah, we'll get you out here." Like that's you, motherfucker.
I'm constantly telling him anything.
I think this is the one time, like, in fact, actually, that Ren and I have actually really like talked more than just like a couple lines. But,
all right, well, fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, because I mean, like, we're way overdue to have him.
Yeah.
For a show, it just keeps not being a thing.
Yeah.
But I do want to see if I can get him to, if he's available for the next show, because I want to talk about Fandom Fest. I don't want to bring it up now because I want to get some more information about it. But I know he was at that show and probably has more insight on it, and it was quite a debacle that we'll get into.
Oh yeah.
We'll get into it in the next episode. But I had an absolute blast at both of those shows. I will, any show Aaron ever does, I will do. Any show Jamie and Teresa ever does, we'll always do. We love our con family.
Yeah.
And I had an absolute blast, and there's no better way to spend a day than in the company of good friends and a little con show and stinky motherfuckers that come up to my table. Smell like 5-week-old hot dog water.
I'm going to say that's a number 2 on my list. Number 1 is always beating the shit out of other nerds with foam weapons.
Yeah, that's not on my list.
If I had handed you a foam weapon when some of those stinky motherfuckers were coming up to our table, you tell me you wouldn't have had fun wailing the fuck on them like that one motherfucker. Come on. Yeah, see, he tries to say he wouldn't, but
guys, I don't ask for much. Just fucking shower and put deodorant on. Like, if you're a fat guy, listen, I'm a fat guy. I'm fatter than fuck, alright? I'm basically a moving house. When you're a fat guy, you need to be hyper vigilant of your fucking personal hygiene. This is a problem I'm currently going through at work in an undisclosed place that I work that is a major hospitality brand. that I have to go to work every night and deal with this stinky motherfucker who literally has enough dirt on the back of his neck to grow a fucking vegetable garden.
Yeah.
And who literally smells like the excrement produced when shame meets fucking 3-week-old hot dog water. Oh. I'm fucking tired of this shit, and it's like, you know what? You have to smell really fucking bad to offend me. Yeah. I'm not a person who gets offended.
I feel like he's
offensive.
He's Linus.
Yeah, no.
Like, he just has the fucking...
I describe it like this. Like, we had a meeting
The
at work,
angry
and this
squiggles.
motherfucker was sitting across the table from me, and if any of my work friends are listening, they're going to piss themselves on this shit. But, like, this motherfucker's sitting across the table from me, and he's raising his arms constantly.
And he's just getting the angry Linus
And I'm going to tell you what, like, you know, like in a cartoon when they have they bring out the pie, and then there's, like, the wafting, and he's got the little fingers, like, oh, tickle your nose. This is like that, except for the hand comes over and just
like 5 fingers
slaps the shit.
5 fingers in the face.
I tell you, that same night, I have to describe this because we're already on the road now. This sloppy fucking bitch of a human came into work. This is your workplace. This is a place where you fucking are supposed to be professional. Yeah. And yes, we work third shift and we're a little bit more laid back, but there's still no excuse for this. So he comes in there with his fucking corpulent, smelly ass. And he waddles the fuck in there wearing fucking the same outfit he was wearing the last 2 days before. Yeah. But it literally looked like he took like 4 chili dogs loaded to the top, put them in his hand, took them over his pant leg and just slapped them down, and then just kind of picked the hot dog up and dropped it. So like every piece of chili and funk or whatever was crusted upon these funky stinking ass pans. Yeah. Then he's got enough goddamn fucking dirt, again, I say, on the back of his neck to grow a fucking vegetable garden. I can't even fucking imagine what the rest of him is like. His underarms literally smell like carrion death. He's fucking walking through there and shit with his pants pulled up to his goddamn fucking hairy nipples and shit. And then fucking his zipper literally completely undone. And I'm smelling like, I can't even say, like fucking like King Kong's taint. Like, just the level of
After
horror.
the fight, yeah.
The level of fucking physical horror. Like, you sloppy bitch. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you that you looked in the fucking mirror and you said, yeah, this is totally acceptable, right? This is totally acceptable.
Oh, totally.
To walk out of the motherfucking house and go to my place of employment, which I am paid to work at, and to work with other people and have to be in the presence of other people when I literally smell like death. Like a fucking corpse. Like a corpse that King Kong shit on. I can't describe properly how smelly and sloppy and fucking disgusting. You know what? I'll tell you what. These people at the fucking cons, they got nothing on this fat bitch. Yeah. Nothing. And you know what? I'm just livid about it. Because it takes a lot to offend me. I'm the most offensive motherfucker. One of my nicknames at work is Walking HR Case.
Yeah. I love, though, that, like, you know me so well that you're like, you couldn't even be near this motherfucker because you would have already gone off, like, screaming at this motherfucker.
It's all I can do.
Yeah.
It's all I can do not to just rip into this motherfucker because I respect my job and my boss and my coworkers too much to just tell this son of a bitch what he is. But I tell you what, if I ever got the chance, I would probably have an orgasm. Literally. To get to tell this motherfucker how disgusting that he is.
Have the awesome hate-gasms?
I could do a whole show talking about this creepy bitch, but whatever.
Look at me.
He seriously looks like he's 47 years old and he's 25. I could never figure this out. He's got a fucking coma, for Christ's sake.
I love the fact that you told me that somebody actually, when they
he asked somebody, like, oh, how old do you think I am? And they were like, I don't know, 42, 43. And he's like, I'm 25.
That shit was awesome. I was like, oh. Like, there are very few times, you know, well, I can't say that. There are plenty of times that we revel in other people's fucking pain. And that was definitely one of those.
I'm the master of the shit talk. That is what I do.
Oh, I've never met that guy.
But no stinky motherfucker at a con has got nothing on this motherfucker. Even that pack rat, the guy who used to come to pack rat all the time that had, like, the underarms that would literally melt your skin off your face.
I'd imagine he would probably be the closest, though.
Probably, but he ain't got nothing on this dude.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We're at 59 minutes, so let's do Kickstarters of the week real quick. I only got a couple here. Let's see. The magical lappy top of doom.
Yep.
I want to talk about... I've got 3 up here. I've got Souls of the Abyss, the Tibernera tribe. I don't know if you guys have heard about Shallow Water, but it's a film project that happened like a year or two ago. Yeah, a short film. They were trying to go for a feature film, but a short film is kind of what it ended up being. But it's all practical makeup effects, and it's this very amazing looking creature called the Tibernera, which kind of looks like if the creature from the Black Lagoon had a baby with like a snapping turtle, sort of. Like,
I like to say it's like, most body-wise, it looks like Creature from the Black Lagoon, but the head looks very much like, God, what is the turtle kaiju?
Gamera?
Yeah, Gamera. It has a very Gamera-ish, like, snappy turtle head.
Yeah, it's apparently based on a prehistoric sea turtle called an Archelon, which had a very similar sort of head structure. But the guy that did the project, Sandy Cholera, he's a filmmaker and an effects artist, and he's also done figure work for NECA and I'm trying to think of who else. He talks about it in the video, but it's a really... Now they're doing an action figure project for it, because a lot of people were really like, hey man, you should do figures of this because it's fucking amazing.
Yes, it is.
But the figures are absolutely fucking beautiful. There's a bunch of different pledge levels, the very most basic of which would you just basically like a one figure package. I believe it starts out at $35, which is just not bad at all.
No, not really.
Especially for such a highly detailed kind of figure. So check that one out. It's Souls of the Abyss, the Tibernera tribe. It's got 20 days to go. They're looking for 60,000. They're only at 21,000 right now, unfortunately. So, but there's still a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'm going to be pledging to it. I know Dave's going to be pledging to it, and I think a couple of our other friends are going to be pledging to it too. So,
yeah,
absolutely check that one out. We've also got Kevin Eastman's Drawing Blood Volume 1, a graphic novel. If you guys are familiar, if you're comic book fans or if you're pop culture fans in general, you've probably heard of Kevin Eastman. He's the co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Peter Laird.
Yeah.
He was married to Julie Strain. He's kind of like the rock star of comics, basically.
Yeah.
He's got a graphic novel that he's doing backing for now that is kind of autobiographical story, behind the scenes sort of thing of his life as a cartoonist and as a comic creator. So it's really interesting looking. I would definitely... It's one I'm considering. Pledge levels as low as $5. Right now, it's got 23 days to go. Of the $75,000 goal, they've got 42,237. So, not too bad. So again, that one's Kevin Eastman's Drawing Blood Volume 1, a graphic novel. And the last one is American Dreams / Marvelous dual Kickstarter. This one is an American superhero from the past in a new San Francisco, and a super cop of today make a dynamic entrance into the Powerverse, which is a new independent comic thing. The artwork is absolutely beautiful. It looks very retro. It's kind of like the one character kind of is a 1970s Power Man sort of looking Luke Cage kind of guy, and the other one is a very traditional looking superhero that looks kind of very 90s, I would say. Looks very interesting. I don't know too much about it, but it's definitely one that's on the radar. A couple of our friends have donated to it. The creators are Daniel Calban and Mally Simpson. You can check it out. It's got 13 days to go. They're looking for 4,200 and they're at 3,152, so they're pretty close. That one, again, is American Dreams and Marvelous Dual Kickstarter. So those are all the Kickstarters of the week that I've got. The only thing that we didn't go over in news that I wanted to quickly mention is Tom Welling, who you guys all remember from Smallville, is coming back to the comic genre in the DC.
Yeah, let's say DC, yeah.
He's going to be a series regular in the Lucifer show. Is that right?
Yep. He will be playing a cop that is kind of like the all-American cop that the female lead of the show kind of has a little thing. So automatically him and Lucifer are probably not going to be getting
Probably not going to be super friends.
Not going to be super friends.
But I'm super jazzed to see him coming back, and it's a show that I've kind of been meaning to start watching, so I think I'll have to go back and watch the first season and get into it, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's everything we've got for right now. Is it shilling time?
Yeah, that's mine.
All right, well, the biggest part of shilling time this time is going to be where we're going to be this coming weekend. Sunday, we're going to be back at Jim and Dan's
Mm-hmm.
for the Jim and Dan Promotions Comic and Toy Show. That one's going to be at the Wright State University Student Union, 3640 Colonel Glenn Highway in Dayton, Ohio. That is August the 13th. Let's see. Let me get the super duper details here. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., $5 admission, 12 and under are free. And I believe parking is also free. We're going to be there. Adam Fields is going to be there. Craig Boldman's going to be there. Watson might be there if he goes with us. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
Jeff Austin's going to be there.
Replies to his messages.
Allison Dixon and Nat Dixon. There's going to be a cosplay competition featuring Cosplay Obscura. Time Warp Collectibles is going to be there. There's going to be gaming, comics, and toys. The whole gamut of it, and we'll be there with our happy asses doing the game and selling T-shirts and DVDs.
Yep.
It's going to be super fun times. So, if you liked what you heard this week on the Basement Fodder Podcast, you can, of course, find us at our network home of digitalnerdage.com, and you can find us at our website of thebasementofdoom.wordpress.com, and, of course, on various social media, on Twitter and Instagram, at Basement Fodder, on Facebook, Todd of Basement Fodder, Dave of Basement Fodder, the original Basement Babe, the Dead Mother of Doom, Basement Fodder Podcast, the Todd Files, and It Came From the Queue, and, of course, Todd Dave is my profile, and Dave of Basement of Doom is his profile. Mm-hmm. And, of course, you can also check out Titan Trap Custom on Twitter as well, though I haven't, unfortunately, produced any new work in about a year. But, hey, when you are going through a move-in and a divorce and a bunch of other shit, it's kind of hard to get creative. And when you also work, 40 hours a week at night. So, but that is, I want to also shout out to our, of course, our network home, Digital Nerdage, and check out the Digital Nerdage podcast with our friends Michelle and Shauna and Pat and Corey talk about various nerdery through the week. Shout out, of course, to Not Another Origin Story, where Pokes talks about horrible comic book movies and some of the good ones, too. That's going to wrap it up this week. As always, from the Basement of Doom, I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
And until next time, the basement door is closed.
Later, bitches.